Anybody there?
All right. Well, I want to welcome you guys to yet another episode of the Dad Hat Chronicles. This is your host, Ed. And with me today, I have the Mr. Ambassador for the state of Mississippi for the Otterbots, Johnny Bowlin. How you doing, my friend?
Doing good, man. This is a treat to be here tonight.
Awesome. I love it. You know, it's like, you are. I've had so many ambassadors already for the Otterbots is just too much. I can't even. I don't even know how this is happening, but this is how this gets going.
You really think about it, like what Mike talked about and Josh. It's really genius.
Mhm.
It's marketing genius, and like they said, it comes up on Twitter as Danville Baseball. But the fact that they put this together and you literally have people around the world
Right.
wearing stuff. I mean, it's genius, absolutely marketing genius. And I'm hook, line, sinker.
Yeah.
I'm there. It got me. And enjoy it. Really enjoy it.
It's funny you say that because it's something that I've noticed, and then some of the things that since I've been doing is it's all about the team embracing their fans, right? That's the main thing. And I think that the Appalachian League has done a really good job with that, right? I'm not taking away anything from other leagues, but like the sock puppets, my favorite team. Sorry to say that. but the sock puppets, the Otterbots, right? They've done such a good job in embracing what baseball is all about, and is their fans, right?
Right. It's the old Cheers principle, I call it, where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
For the song of the show Cheers. And, like you have said in other podcasts, these major league teams, and I love them, I love my teams, but they don't know who I am. You really think about it, there's literally thousands and millions of people connected to those teams. But, that connection, that community that they've created, like Burlington, like the other teams in the Appalachian League, and Danville has just taken this, and it's just, like I said, it's just genius to me. It's fun. Like I said, that sense of community and belonging that you don't get in a lot of places.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, you really don't. And you're right. Major League Baseball, I think right now, I think they're having a problem with identity, right? And they're not embracing the fans like minor league baseball is embracing it.
Well, you're exactly right. And I've been fortunate over the years to have met people like that worked for the Baby Cakes, or years before the Zephyrs, the Biloxi Shuckers, and some of the nicest people you'll ever meet working minor league baseball.
Hardworking.
Hardworking. And one of the things that attracts me to minor league baseball, and this hit me a few years ago. Initially, of course, it was the cool names, the logos, the hats, the shirt, all. But you really think about it, minor league baseball is chasing dreams. And it's beyond, and it's even more than the players, because those guys, 90% of them will never make the major league. But they keep grinding, and they keep working, and they keep chasing that dream. And you can say that about the office staffs, the social media people, the announcers. They're all chasing a dream. I mean, it inspires me, because they, like I said, 90% will not make it. But those guys go out there every night, the long bus trips, the travel, the not much money, but they keep chasing that dream. And man, it's just, like I said, it inspires me when you go to those games, when you kind of think about what's really going on, and you meet, like I said, so many wonderful people that they're just chasing that dream. They're trying to get to that next rung of the ladder.
You say that, and I'm, for a lot of people that are not watching it, like, I mean, you and me are seeing each other through the magic that is Zoom, but I pointed right at you as soon as you said that, because you're right. Like 90%, will never make it to the majors. I also think that on the other side of that is, I don't think a lot of them want to make it to the majors, right? But it's the office staff, right? All of those people that are putting hard work, that wear many, many, many hats every day. See what I did there?
Right.
The hats, yeah, that hats. um, so right, it's just you got to do it for the love, because the initial pay, and this has been discussed many times, is not that much.
Right. Right. It's the love of the game. We talk about it. It's, and it just, you're right. You have to love it. I
Hmm.
say that whatever field somebody's in, you got to love it. If you don't love it, you'll be miserable. Whatever you're doing in life, you gotta have a heart for what you do. And like you said, so many people that you meet, have contact with, that may be a Twitter conversation, but their heart's in it. Or they'd be doing something else with their life.
Correct. I absolutely agree with you. So I think you and me both are on the same wavelength here, my friend. All right. So let's jump into my one question that I ask everybody. How did you become a fan? When was that moment that you became a fan of the sport, whatever that sport is, right? Obviously, a lot of people, we talk about baseball on this podcast, but there's football, there's hockey, basketball. What was that moment that you decided, I'm a fan?
Well, I thought about that question for tonight. It's kind of interesting because my dad. And it's always neat when you hear the people you interview talk about their fathers and childhood and, and growing up. My dad is not a big sports guy. He loves Alabama football. I won't try to do Keith Jackson. I almost slipped in Keith Jackson voice there, and that was kind of it. And um, we would go every so often to a Barons game. I'm originally from Birmingham. Go to beautiful old Rickwood Field, and I remember my first time at Rickwood. He sent me to the concession stand, and it was the classic, "Hey, you want something to eat?" "Yeah, Dad." "Well, hey, you want to go get it?" Kind of deal. Trip, and I fell on top of the Barons mascot with nachos all over the mascot. So, I remember Wickywood was the mascot's name. And so my dad's not a big baseball guy. And then I was that little leaguer, Ed. And gosh, I thought hopefully things would change. But in the 70s, picking players for Little League was not exactly encouraging. I mean, it would be me and like tumbleweeds on the field. Like, I was a terrible baseball player. I mean, just terrible baseball player. Now, years later, in the early 90s, I played softball all the time and loved slow pitch men's softball. That was a huge thing. And I would say I was kind of mediocre with softball, but I always loved baseball, even though, like I said, I didn't grow up in an environment where my dad was a big baseball guy. I was a terrible little leaguer. I mean, the community I grew up in, Little League was huge because a strong Little League obviously builds up till you get to the high school level. And my hometown won 3 state championships after I graduated.
Oh, wow.
Baseball was such a huge part of that community. And so, I just have always loved baseball, from childhood. Um, just, just really started probably my first minor league, talking about hats,
Hmm.
probably first minor league hat, probably that was not Birmingham Barons. When I was in college, I remember I had a the dark navy blue Toledo Mud Hens hat
Oh,
with,
wow.
with the T, and was it Muddy the Mud Hen on the front with the bat, the
Yeah,
black
yeah, yeah.
hat. Back then there's kind of a regional sporting goods chain here called Hibbett's. And back then, Hibbett's would sell occasionally some minor league stuff. So I bought that at a local pre-internet sporting goods store. And like I said, played Little League poorly, played a lot of softball, company league, church league softball back years ago, and just love it. Then you move forward, help coach softball. My daughter was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And so I coached 2 years of fast pitch girls softball, 7 to 9 year old softball, and she played t-ball. You'll love that era, by the way, when your daughter gets old enough to play t-ball.
I cannot wait for that.
I mean, t-ball. And then the second year she played, our league used minor league teams. So
that's smart. That's pretty cool.
They were the Charleston River Dogs. And so you had the Biscuits and Lug Nuts and all these great minor league teams. First year she played, it was Major League Baseball team. Ironically, we were the Marlins. Great teal, and they had the hats. And
yeah.
T-ball was so much fun. Some of my best memories of her growing up was just two of us out in the yard throwing a ball. Bought one of those tees with a little rubber so the ball would come back. You hit it, pick it up,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But yeah, you'll love if your daughter wants to play t-ball. You'll love the t-ball. It's just so much fun, and just, I mean, it was just so much enjoyment. Something I love already. And she's 20 years old now. I'm going to sound like every old man you'll meet. It goes by quick.
Yeah.
Now I have a 20-year-old daughter, but she'll say to this day one of her favorite places to be is at a ball game.
You did your job, my friend. You
So,
did your job.
She loves being at the ballpark, and she told me a couple of weeks ago, "Well, I'd like to go see the Struckers play before the season ends." And I said, "Yeah." Of course, we're about 5 hours from Biloxi now, where we were 2.5. So I'm in kind of an interesting spot where we live for minor league baseball. I guess the closest team is Memphis, which if you've never been to the ballpark in Memphis, it's amazing.
The Redbirds, right?
Oh man, it is a sweet ballpark downtown, gorgeous ballpark. And we got to go July 3rd this summer. I only got to go to 2 ball games this summer. Went to Jackson, Tennessee to see the Winnipeg Gold Eyes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I finally got to see some American Association. Played Chicago, battle of 2 great uniforms, by the way. Like, wow. And I was in the team store hoping there would be that Gold Eyes hat or something.
Right.
And somebody asked, before I could get it out of my mouth, to the lady working there, "Well, do you have any Winnipeg stuff?" "No, it's coming in." And I never made it back over there. It's about an hour and a half from here to Jackson, Tennessee.
Yeah, so you're hour and a half and up, for you to watch an actual baseball game live.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's kind of, you're just kind of away from all of it here, But yeah, Jackson, I'd never been to a ball game in Jackson. I've been to that ballpark. We went in January, my wife. We went up there just for me to go souvenir shopping.
Love it.
Birthday, and we went up there, and there's a restaurant there in Jackson that I love, and went and had a meal, had our lunch, and she said, "Pick out what you want for your birthday." Like, "Oh, okay, I like this," And
hey, I'm all for that. Yes, absolutely.
They literally opened the store for us because it's off season, and then they don't have a team.
That's right.
And but they still, and in fact, when we were there for the Winnipeg Gold Eyes, they were selling a ton of Jackson General stuff.
That's right. They still do.
Diamond Jacks. I left with a Diamond Jacks hat the night we went back in May. And so they had a really nice business selling things. but there's no host team there right now. So
And
yeah,
they
the
haven't said
closest.
anything, have they, about putting a team there?
Well, that's a mess. It looks like. Well, everything I've read online, uh, I I don't know. It's a shame because it's really a nice park. So I've never been to a game till May, and it's really a shame. I hate that for the people that were the season ticket holders, the people that were really involved with the Jackson Generals, front office people,
Right, exactly.
that lost jobs, they've lost their team, and but it's a pretty park. It really is.
Yeah, it really is a shame. A lot of the towns that lost baseball, some of them went to survive into indie ball or the collegiate, route, but some of them just they folded and they weren't.
Right,
You never saw them again, which is
right.
sad.
It really is sad. You're exactly right.
So, so tell me, how is it that you became, my friend, the Mississippi ambassador for the Otterbots? Tell me that story.
Like I said, they posted that on Twitter, um, and I thought, wow, that's kind of different. And so, kind of like what, like I said, Josh had shared and Mike had shared, just kind of said, yeah, hey, I'll do it. And Twitter, this interview, Twitter over the years with me and minor league baseball has been very good to me. I'm
Mhm.
just almost Forrest Gumpian. And so, I put this in the line. This interview, um, the few months ago, being interviewed for the newspaper,
I remember
uh,
that. I read that article.
um, which was just mind-boggling. That my tweets. It was so funny. The reporter and I were talking. Said his boss said, "Hey, you got to read these guys' tweets." I'm like, "What?" And so I guess they picked the biggest lunatic to interview Ed.
It worked out, my friend. That's all that matters.
And I'm so shocked, and he was so gracious, and we talked over an hour that afternoon. And the picture that's with the article, my wife babysits this little girl, and I walked over to the house, and I said, I need a picture, and she literally handed me the baby. I handed her
Really?
my phone, and then of course we call her the junior ambassador for the Danville Otterbots. But it's just like I said, it's just a lot of fun. Um, they just really interact with the fans very well. The other ambassadors, you interact with them, and that Zoom call that we had months ago, and it just is really, like I said, it's in a not a long list, but really interesting things that minor league baseball and Twitter have come together,
Oh
and
yeah.
that of them to be interviewed by the Star Tribune, and your face is on the local paper in Danville, Virginia.
Hey, listen, I'm hoping that you grabbed at least one of those articles and you framed it, because that is awesome. I know I would. If I'm interviewed for a newspaper, I definitely will be framing that sucker up.
Well, I don't know if you saw the post. I made I call it the official ambassador tribute shelf in my
Yeah.
office here, and Elias Weiss was the reporter. He mailed me that really cool magazine that the paper prints, and it had the schedule and a big feature about the Otterbots, and a copy of the newspaper. And so I wanted to preserve the magazine, so that's why it's framed. And I came up with the idea for the shelf, the few little Danville things there on the shelf. And I do need to get that framed. Now I do have a copy from online right here on my desk, so
Yes, sir.
it's never far away. But yeah, that was just a really cool moment this year. They have brought the whole ambassadors following the Otterbots, just brought a lot of happiness and joy. Just like I said, it's fun. It just really is fun.
It goes back to what we've been talking, right? The main theme of minor league baseball. It's all about their fans, and they figured it out.
They really have. They really, really have. Twitter started with me in 2016 with my these weird occurrences. 2016. I've been on Twitter now 6 years, but they popped up the other day. It's your 6-year anniversary. I'm like, really? And then Ed, I did the math, and I averaged 4.7 tweets every day. What's wrong? What's wrong with me? But in 2016, I guess I was going through a midlife crisis. Now, Ed, I hit midlife at 30. Okay, I'm not making it to 95. Okay. Okay, midlife was 30. Okay, at this rate. So 2005 years ago, I've been wanting to get a tattoo. Okay. And at that time, there was a tattoo artist at the church we were at, and has a business over in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And my wife was kind of, oh, you talk a good game.
Go ahead and get one.
Go ahead and get the tattoo, And, we adopted the Biloxi Shuckers as our Mississippi team. Like I said, I'm originally from Birmingham, wife's from Birmingham. Our daughter was actually born in New Orleans 20 years ago. We're just gypsies with this life, And so we set it up. And so took a picture of the tattoo, put it on Twitter. Well, then I'm getting a message from the TV station in Biloxi, Mississippi. That, like I said, that time, 2.5 hours away. Wanted to know if they could interview me about the tattoo on Twitter, Ed. That's crazy. And then it's direct messaging. And so we went over there, and it was one of those nights like, are we going to play or not? Cloudy, rained a little bit. It was toward the end of the season. And so they set this up outside the ballpark. And in one of the conversations, direct message, the reporter asked, well, who's your favorite player? And we got to meet Brett Phillips, now the Tampa Bay Rays. In April of 2016, we went to Pearl for the Shuckers and Mississippi Braves, and he just came up and introduced himself. We were sitting there in Shuckers gear.
Really?
Up, and he just came and introduced himself. All right. And then my daughter scrambled to the team store, and he and Nathan Orff and Javier Betancourt signed a Mississippi Braves baseball. Well, then they
that's awesome.
Like, really nice dude. So now we're in August, okay? And the lady said, well, who's your favorite Shuckers? Oh, Brett Phillips. So when they're doing the interview, they surprise me, and they have Brett Phillips come out of the ballpark while they're interviewing me for local television in Biloxi, Mississippi in 2016, all from one Twitter post about a Biloxi Shuckers tattoo that's on my left arm.
That is awesome.
So, I'm a Brett Phillips fan. I thought that was so incredible last year in the World Series, him having that moment. Really, really nice guy. Super, super nice guy. Will be great on television one day. His personality, sense of humor, that weird laugh. His bobblehead sits here on my desk, a big fan, of Brett. Well, in 2018, because of Twitter, there was a contest who had the best baby mascot in minor league baseball between the New Orleans Baby Cakes. Now, see, we used to live about an hour, 45 minutes from New Orleans.
Right.
And I went to school in New Orleans. Like I said, our daughter was born in New Orleans. We lived there 2000, 2001, and just fell in love with New Orleans, to this day. And so we would go to Baby Cakes games, a couple Baby Cakes games a year. And, I love the Zephyrs, but I thought I love the rebrand. I thought they nailed that rebrand.
It was definitely different for sure. It was a very New Orleans thing.
Right. My daughter said it's kind of weird, but it's kind of New Orleans.
Right.
Like, well, I kind of, in you factor in minor league baseball and all that. So they had this Twitter contest between New Orleans and Scranton Wilkes-Barre. because they have, the baby, Bambino, I think they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's probably going to correct me on that, but the baby wearing a Yankees hat and needs a shave and the pinstripe diaper, who had the best baby logo in minor league baseball with a trip for two to Miami. Okay. And you had to use a certain hashtag, Team Baby Cakes, I think it was. So I would do that that summer, just have fun. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Baby cake. No concept of winning. So I used to do part-time hospice chaplain work. So I'm working. I get on Twitter direct message from the guy that was the merchandise manager for the baby cakes. And he gives me his phone number and says, "Hey, can you give me a call?" Well, I've never talked to this guy on the phone. I talked to him at the stadium. Great guy. They had the nicest staff with the baby cakes.
Okay.
Really, folks with New Orleans were just as friendly of people you could ever meet. He said, "Well, Johnny, we've drawn names for the contest, and you've won the contest in Miami."
What?
What? I mean, I nearly drove off the road, Ed.
What?
I live in rural Mississippi. Okay. I'm in a different part of Mississippi. The three biggest cities in Mississippi are Mobile, New Orleans, and Memphis. Okay. So, yeah, go. So I'm like, "What'd you say?" And he said, "Yeah, you just, let me know." And the only thing that we had out of pocket was like food and like Uber or taxi. My first time, they don't have Uber in rural Mississippi. Okay. I mean, and so that's the only thing we had in pocket. So I came home. We were having car problems with this piece of junk car that I used to have. My wife's ranting about the car. I said, "Hold on. I just talked to Bob with the baby cakes and we won a trip to Miami." "What?" And it just stopped all the car worry for that. And it was a one night trip to Miami and they played the Yankees.
No way.
I mean, you're talking about, and I'm a baseball nerd, proud of it. I'm not a computer nerd. I'd have more money if I was a computer nerd. I'm just a baseball nerd, okay, history nerd. Okay. We walk in there, and of course, Miami's just gorgeous. I never thought I'd ever see Miami. Okay. Put us up in this beautiful hotel. I mean, it was just first class all the way. We were on the 7th row at Marlins Park.
That's awesome.
I mean, they put us in these great seats. I'm walking in there, and the Yankees are taking batting practice. I'm thinking, that's the doggone New York Yankees. I mean,
Bronx Bombers, huh?
I'm watching the Yankees first. And I had not been to a major league game. In fact, we went to Cleveland in 2000 for the Indians and Rangers opening weekend, tax weekend, April 14th, 15th.
That's awesome.
Last time I had been to a major league game was 18 years prior. And it was just awesome. And then they placed us with a father and son who had won the contest in Scranton.
No way.
So I'm sitting there and I'm baby caked out. I've got 2 baby cakes jerseys. I got the Nola jersey on, the hat. And of course, they're in Yankee stuff. And my wife's kind of wearing just neutral, whatever clothes, regular stuff, And so I strike up a conversation with the guy sitting beside me. And I said, "Well, I won a contest to get here." He goes, "We did too." And so we have kept up with him on Facebook since 2018.
Nuts.
And so we call August 22nd our faniversary.
Your faniversary.
Our faniversary. And my brother-in-law, who's a big Braves guy, you imagine living here. Well, Braves, and in this part of the state, you're so close to Memphis, i.e. St. Louis. This is Cardinals kind of territory here, where
Got it.
State is Atlanta Braves, but you do see more Cardinal than Atlanta Braves. And so, um, man, and that's all from Twitter. And then, like I said, this tonight is because of
Yeah.
Twitter. It's just amazing. Like I said, it's like Forrest Gumpian.
You know what though? Listen, you are not just an ambassador for the Otterbots, man. You're an ambassador for baseball, my friend, because those are some great stories, and it's all about what is it? Just interacting with people on social media, having a positive attitude, and just spreading good, good positive vibes out there. Because the world is filled up with enough negativity. I'm not about that. I'm about to spreading some positive vibes, and hopefully this podcast does that, right? Because I got some cool people that I've met, and including you, that have told me so many cool stories already.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I've heard you say that, on previous podcasts, and I'm the same way. There's enough negativity. I don't talk about politics in public. I don't. You'll never read anything where I get into political things. Man, life's too short. It really is, and you know, it's an imperfect world. I mean, that's just the way it is.
You're right.
And and ranting and raving and about politics. I see more of that on Facebook, and maybe because Twitter, you don't know a lot of those folks personally, but Facebook, you worked with them, went to school with them. It's a little bit different dynamic.
Yeah.
I didn't get on Facebook till last summer when we moved because we're in the midst of the pandemic, and you were not meeting people face to face just to get to learn them, and then I to learn my wife and I, and didn't get in that. But some of the stuff you read and just much anger and all this stuff, and it's like you need things that are positive and fun and light and take your mind off things for a
Completely
little.
agree.
And that's the nature of sports. It should be.
Yeah.
That you spend that 3.5 hours or whatever. Basketball, of course, not as long. You get away for a while.
You forget about everything that's happening in the world or in your life. It's as soon as you go into that ballpark, you go in through the gates, you forget about everything and enjoy it. The entertainment, the food, the people watching, because let's be honest, there's a lot of good, fun people watching at a ballpark, and that's all this is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that should be, that's the way it should be, just enjoy. And then, like we've talked about with family, you're making those memories, and you'll think about, hey, we were at this game, I bought this hat, and that's a memory connected. It's not just buying a hat, but well, we sure had a good time at such and such stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Think about those great memories, those fun memories that you have going to a ball game. I read all the time, and you just get away from the world for a little while. I have my head stuck in a book, on a pretty regular basis, and mostly baseball, as you could probably guess. I love biographies. I'm a biographies guy. I'm reading the Hank Aaron book right now. I Had a Hammer.
Yeah.
That he in the early '90s. Excellent book. Excellent book.
You got to pick it up.
Really, really good book. I found it at a used bookstore in Tupelo a couple months ago, and it's just a fantastic book. Really, really good biography.
Now, have you read the Clemente biography?
Oh, that's excellent. I have that book. Read that years ago. Fantastic book. Oh, because that's somebody I miss seeing play. He died 71. I was born in 72.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up seeing him play, and that's a fascinating book. Really, really good book. The big fella I'm a Babe Ruth guy. You can see Babe Ruth stuff here in the office. The big fella is an excellent biography. There's just really a lot of good baseball books. Baseball gets a lot of good scholarship in terms of writing, and
Oh yeah.
Great books. There's many really good books out there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I recently, in the last, because of the pandemic last year and all that, that's when I really also got into reading a lot more baseball books. Just because you have so much free time, right?
Right.
So you want, me personally wanted to educate myself some more, right? There's so many stories that you can definitely catch up on. The Negro Leagues baseball. There's so many good cool stories. Satchel Paige, so it's I if people are not reading it, they're really missing out on so much history.
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, and it's really, it just, like I said, you just get into those stories, and you learn and you appreciate what those folks endured and went through. And yeah, I totally agree. A lot of good books, a lot of good scholarship.
Right.
Uh,
And like you
there's
said, go ahead.
go ahead. If you're ever in the great state of Alabama, uh, adjacent to the beautiful ballpark in downtown Birmingham where the Barons play, there is a Negro League museum, and it's well done. The
Hmm.
coolest thing to me they have in there, you mentioned Satchel Paige, they have a pitch simulator. So you pick which pitch you want him to throw, and so here's this video image of Satchel Paige throwing the ball to you.
Really?
Really cool. Yeah, they've got a picture of him and Bob Feller, and there's a lot of cool artifacts.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
that museum. We went the first year. Haven't been back years, but we were able to go the first year they were open, and it's a really neat museum. Not a very big place, For this first year, I'm sure it's expanded, but yeah, it's a really cool place.
Have you been to the one in Kansas City?
Have not. I'd
Oh,
love. Oh gosh, I'd love to go. I see the stuff Paul has put online, and being there, and another ambassador there.
right, exactly. They keep coming. They keep just
To use, I guess, the Marvel terminology, we're like Hydra. You know what I'm saying? Use the Marvel term, MCU term. You cut off one head, three more ambassadors appear. You know what I'm saying?
That's amazing. That's great
we're,
analogy.
we're like Hydra. You could probably spend weeks and months interviewing ambassadors. Like I said, it's literally international with the
That's
impact.
great.
No, it's. I think every state, when that first got started, I think every state has somebody, and then vice ambassadors. You in fact, Mississippi, the guy moved, I think, to Maryland. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but we had a vice ambassador, and I made the mistake of saying something positive one tweet about the sock puppets, which I learned my lesson. Never do that. And we almost had a full coup d'etat here. We had a JFK kind of moment here. Really. Highest level ambassadors. He was ready to take me out and assume the ambassador title for the great state of Mississippi.
Oh,
So,
that's hilarious. It's funny, because the general manager for both the teams they really are friends, and the banter that goes between them and between fans, it's amazing. It's hilarious. I absolutely enjoy it.
yeah, he shared something in that Zoom call that the rivalry between the cities goes back a long time. So when it was Burlington Indians and Burlington Royals versus Danville Braves, and I mean, so there's a mutual disdain between Danville folks and Burlington folks. And I'm honest with you, Ed, I love that kind. I love rivalries. You know,
That's
I
what makes
grew,
sports.
yes, I mean, I grew up in the hotbed of college football rivalry, Alabama and Auburn. I mean, it doesn't get. I mean, it's every day. It's Alabama and Auburn. They
It's
play
like
one football, but it's every
It's like
day.
for us here in Ohio State and the state up north, the Wolverines.
And it's a lot of fun. Now I went to UAB. My wife's more the Alabama fan. Like I said, my dad is Alabama fan. I like Alabama, but I'm not an obnoxious jerk because I went to school somewhere else.
Yeah, you're a Blazer.
Right. I'm a UAB Blazer, and that's my school. I don't, of course, after the destruction at the hands of Georgia, I got to church Sunday morning. This real sweet lady said, "Oh, that was so bad. What happened to your team?" And I said, "Well, to quote Kermit the Frog, it's not easy being green." So, yeah, I really foolishly thought they'd give Georgia a game for a little while.
Listen, I'm from a small, I went to a small school myself. I'm Kent State. So, I root for Ohio State, right? So I'm a Golden Flash, and all that. But, at the end of the day, I root for my team. That's where I got my degree from and all of that. So
I'm the same way. And we'll see. And they started football when I was a student there. They started in 91. I was there from 90 to 94. So I was there from, the very beginning of it starting and I can't even tell you how many UAB games over the years we went to. I've been to Baton Rouge to see them play when they actually beat LSU, which was still one of the great shocking moments. And then we went to Tennessee in 1998. And we bought tickets on our honeymoon to the Tennessee UAB game because we were everybody in Alabama goes to Gatlinburg for their honeymoon. That was like, the old joke was growing up, if you want to go to heaven or hell, you have to go through Atlanta. Atlanta airport growing up in Alabama. And the old joke was everybody that gets married in Alabama goes up to Gatlinburg. We went back to Gatlinburg on our honeymoon. And she agreed to, let's pull on Tennessee's cancel. Hey, let's just show up. And we found the ticket office. We're wandering around their basketball arena. I look up and there's Pat Summitt's office door. We're walking around the arena there at UT and found the ticket office and bought tickets that day and then went months later for the ball game, but yeah, I grew up a big Alabama fan. But then when I started school, it's like I need to wear the green. I'm a Blazer. That's where
There you go. Absolutely.
And they put the crimson stuff away. But yeah, that's
the way it goes, my friend. At the end of the day, we root who we root for. That's it.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let me ask you, where we are nearing the end of the baseball season, right? Are you planning on doing any kind of games for the rest of the year? Are you doing anything?
I wish. I want to be like General MacArthur and he promised he'd come back to the Philippines. I want to get to Danville. I want to be in Danville.
That'll be sometime next year. There you go.
It's the problem you have is it not being a regular minor league affiliate season. It's a shorter window. You got a smaller window of time to get there, and so I want to get there. It's we've mapped it out. My wife, well, let's go. She's supportive of it, and it's about 10 hours. And we've tried to plan out, and I said, we've got to get there. I want to hug Scotter the otter. I want to be there with my brothers and sisters of the beautiful teal blue and the futuristic orange of the Otterbots. I've never thrown out a first pitch. They promised any ambassador would show up, and Tim from Montana got to go, and I mean it was just like the town was open for him. These great
That's
photos,
awesome.
everything, they just rolled out the red carpet, And I said, I would have to warm up. Wouldn't that be awful to throw out a first pitch and just, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, you're right. Exactly.
I had a very humbling baseball experience last Father's Day. The Braves, Mississippi Braves, had this promotion for Father's Day. You can go take batting practice.
Oh,
Ed, I'm an old man. I'm an old, fat, bald-headed man. The last time I swung a bat, it was girls softball practice for 7 to 9-year-old softball. You know, in our bright orange T-shirts, you know, that we had for softball, and so I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea for us to do this on Father's Day. And it was a great idea for the Braves because obviously no minor league baseball, but it was something you could do, be at the park, and you got a special T-shirt, and you got a hot, you know, meal, and you got your own intro music when you came up to the plate. I went with the classic MC Hammer, Too Legit to Quit.
That's great.
It beat out Johnny Be Good. You know, Johnny Be Good would have been the low-hanging fruit. But I had my daughter listen to a couple ideas, and we came up with Too Legit to Quit by MC Hammer. They put your faces on the screen. Your child was the PA announcer.
That's awesome.
And I got up and I asked Chris Harris, who used to be the announcer for the Biloxi Shuckers and been with the Braves the last couple of years. I asked Chris, I said, how fast is that ball coming? He said, 70. I said, 70? I said, I don't drive 70. And the ball's coming set. They put this Braves helmet, and I'm wearing my old, speaking of T-ball, my T-ball dad shirt. Daughter's name, apostrophe S, dad. The old teal Marlin. With this Braves hat, helmet, hot day. 145 degrees out there is what it felt like. And I couldn't touch it. I knew I was in trouble. The guy ahead of me, we're watching him hit. Now, he's 20 years younger than me, probably 80 pounds lighter than me, muscular, good, you know, athletic-looking guy. Looked like he probably just played college baseball somewhere. He couldn't. And I'm sitting there going, oh, man, this is a bad.
This is not going to end good.
Yeah, I'm going to come, you know, it's the classic walk in like a lion, leave like a lamb.
Yeah.
I mean, hammer bumping at the stadium over the PA, and I'm in the teal, and I got my hat, and I'm ready, you know, and that, I mean, flying at me. It got so bad, one of the Braves staff just started soft tossing the ball to him. True story.
Oh, my God.
Like, at least get the thrill. And I made contact with a couple of them. But I had not swung a baseball bat and tried to hit a moving baseball. And like I said, I was a terrible little league. So this is not Reggie Jackson coming up there trying to hit a baseball. Okay?
Right.
More like Janet Jackson trying to hit a baseball. And I'm just, but it was fun. Great family moment, fun.
Great experience.
Great experience. You'll never, I mean, to be on a professional AA field, wearing the helmet, and swinging an authentic AA baseball bat, and being there and having your name on the, you know, it was a great that they couldn't do probably during a regular season. But in the pandemic, no one's getting to come to the ballpark. That was a really smart promotion that they put with. And
make some money, make some memories at the same time.
Right. Embarrass old people like myself.
Just let them know, you can't play, so we're going to show you.
Yeah, I you know, and now to this day, when I'm watching a game, somebody strikes out and go, well, I get it.
Don't need to. I'm not going to be one of those fans that tell you nope, I can't.
How can he not hit that? Well, let me tell you how. It's coming. This was 70, not 100. You know, coming 90 plus at your head.
Yeah, they're pitching 100 miles an hour now. You honestly think I'm gonna swing? No, I'm just gonna drop the bat and walk away.
I felt like John Kruk in that All-Star game when Randy Johnson was pitching. He turned his helmet on back.
Yeah, I was like, forget it.
Like, I'm out. But that's the way I feel. He only had 50. He did 15 minutes per person.
That's pretty cool.
I looked good for the first 30 seconds of the intro song, and then after that,
it was just all over.
But that first 30 seconds,
man, was those great. Those 30 seconds great.
Swinging the shillelagh, as Bob Uecker said in Major League 2, swinging the shillelagh.
That's awesome.
And looking good. Like I said, lion and lamb. You come in like a lion.
Oh, my God. I'm crying right now. That's great. That's awesome. Oh, man. All right. So we're going to go ahead and before I go into my famous, not so famous questions right here, my friend. All right. Any plans besides going to Danville for next year? Do you have anything going on as far as baseball is concerned?
I really want to see Madison. I want to see the Trash Pandas. I do have a little Trash Panda swag. They were so popular that before they built the stadium, really, really nice shopping center, kind of an outdoor shopping center in Madison. They have the Trash Panda Emporium, it's called. And so I have like 2 hats and like 2 t-shirts. So I've already got the gear. I've got this, great 2 great dad hats. I call one of them Rocket Fire Red with the.
Oh, I got that one. I have that one.
And so I would love to see a game there. And then there's also in Madison, Virgil, who is the Alabama, again, the ambassadors.
Yeah, there you go.
Is a season ticket holder. So I'd love to meet him. I'd love to meet one of the other ambassadors in person. So I want to get to Madison. I'd love to go to Birmingham, see my crazy brother-in-law. My brother-in-law has over 400 bobbleheads.
Oh, what? 100.
Now in this office where we're visiting, I have 38. Now that's kind of crazy for a small space, but I have 38 bobbleheads. I have some still in boxes. I have not bought shelving since last summer when we moved. So I've still got bobbleheads and logo baseballs and books. All my baseball books pretty much are in boxes still. But he is a Barons fan.
Through and through, huh?
And he lives, suburbs of Birmingham, works in Birmingham, so I would love to get I've got other friends there. I love to hang out with some of my old friends and go to a Barons game. That's, like I said, that's a beautiful ballpark. That they did that ballpark. I mean, in perfection. It is that and Memphis are my favorite 2 parks.
Nice.
It is just unbelievable that both of those facilities. So next season, I'd like to go to Madison. I'd love to go back to Memphis. We had a great time in Memphis. I got to support the minor league Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, supporting the Marlins. I was afraid my wife said, "You got to wear your hat and shirt." I said, "You trying to get me beat up in the parking lot on the way in the stadium?" Everybody's gonna have on red, and and so I had on the Jumbo Shrimp T-shirt. The back of it reads, "Haters are gonna hate," with the shrimp on the back. Really cool shirt I've had when they first rebranded. But anyway, love to get back to Memphis. I'm gonna be curious to see what they do in Jackson. If they get an independent league team.
Yeah, hopefully they get something.
Jackson, somebody, be there. But yeah, that's kind of my goals for 2022.
Nice.
I'd love to see Nashville. Like I said, it's 3 hours away. I would love to see that ballpark as well. But by golly, I want to get to the beautiful state of Virginia. I want to just bask in the glow that is the Danville Otterbots. Who's also a handsome bald man like you and I are, and just be there in Danville. Danville looks like about the size. We live 30 minutes from Tupelo.
Okay.
And Tupelo and Danville look like population-wise about the same size cities. And then I saw today on Twitter that they're getting this monster casino. Caesars is coming to Danville, Virginia.
Really?
And building this huge casino there. And I tweeted out that the ambassadors ought to wear matching jackets and look like the Rat Pack. Sinatra.
That would be so awesome.
We all had matching, this color blue sport coats on and hang out at Caesars,
Oh yeah.
I don't think anybody liked that tweet, but it's out there.
But listen, it's already out there. You put it out there.
Many of my tweets bomb, man. They just,
You know what? You've been luckier than most, my friend, though, because
right.
some of your tweets have gotten you interviews, have gotten you trips. So there you go.
That's exactly right. But yeah, there are some. Not everything is a diamond. Sometimes they're cold.
There you go. That's how it happens. Let me ask you, because you are a collector as well, correct?
Yes.
You got books. I'm sure, obviously, you got plenty of hats, correct?
Yes. Now I don't have the level of someone like Eric. Wow. And then Mike, I listened to last week. 150 hats.
Mm-hmm.
Year. That's amazing. I'm in awe of that. I may average maybe a hat a month.
Gotcha.
Thank you. I have that cool Fort Worth Cats hat.
Oh yeah.
And I got a new Otterbots hat T-shirt. They had a flat sale Labor Day, and got the mesh back.
Yeah. The trucker hat.
The trucker hat, which I've had to warm up trucker hats over the years. My first job was Taco Bell, and we had to wear those trucker hats, and it didn't move on your head.
It just stuck. Yeah.
Stuck there. It looked like I should be on my CB heading to the choke and puke, and they just, for years I would not wear a mesh hat, but now that they've kind of changed it where they're sort of dad hat-esque, softer mesh.
Oh yeah.
I like them, and that hat fits really well. I like the colors. My wife doesn't like. She bought me the fitted hat, which is my favorite. I love all three, and with the eyes on it, the Otterbot face.
Oh, I wished. You know what, guys, at the Otterbots team, make that into a dad hat, and I will so buy that.
And we were talking yesterday, and I had on the new trucker hat, and I said, "What's your favorite?" She said, "I like the blue one." And I said, "What's my favorite?" "Oh, you like that one with the eyes on it." I said, "Yeah." Yes. Yeah, it's kind of a younger dude hat. Thanks. I said, "Why'd you?" Here's what's the beauty, Ed. You may have learned this in marriage. When your spouse buys it, then you got an automatic defense there, because I can reverse it and say, "Well, you bought the hat.
You're the one who bought it.
You're the one who bought it." She goes, "Well, you wanted it, so it gets flipped back on me."
No matter what, you're gonna lose. So you're just like, "You're right, honey. You're right."
Right. It's right. Yeah. I did want it, and I love the hat. Got it for Father's Day. I'm real easy to buy for birthday, any occasion. It's minor league baseball stuff. It's not, or Marlins something. It's real easy to buy for me. I love Nova. When the reveals come out in November, the new logo name. Oh man, I just gobble that up, and it gives her ideas for Christmas.
Oh, I can't. I love that time of period when there's new stuff, new merchandise for next year, new branding. Oh, it's the best. It's like Christmas for all of us fans of the minors.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to see what Beloit does.
That's right. That's right, because they're rebranding.
They've had those options out for a while. And then I think Midland is going to have a new version of the Rock Hound. I've never disliked that logo at all, and I've never had any of those. Never had a hat for Midland. I think it's a fun logo. It's very kid friendly. I've seen little league teams, like we talked about earlier, my daughter played t-ball that year. I've seen that was a popular one that the kids were wearing for t-ball, and little league was Midland with the Rock Hounds.
Yeah.
But I saw today on Twitter they're rebranding. I don't know if it's a new name or just a new logo. The new Winnipeg good. The new Winnipeg logos look good, really sharp. The problem with Winnipeg to me was the shipping.
Oh, trust me, I paid a lot for my stuff, but you know what? It was worth it because pandemic year, right? And this is what we did, right? We supported pandemic year, but man, a lot of my Canadian friends are paying a lot of money to have the hats from US go to Canada, though, too.
I bet. Yeah, I've looked and looked and looked at, because I enjoyed watching them play. The PA announcer he kind of did sort of a Vince McMahon kind of thing with his,
right.
Kind of used his voice, sound like, and really, really did a great job as the PA man that night. And I was fired up, like, I want a Gold Eyes hat. And then I would look at the shipping cost, and the shipping was more than the actual hat. Yeah, they had some cool, on the sale clearance on the website. That's really cool looking hats, but I'm cheap. You know what I'm saying?
I'm all about the sales. I'm all about the sales.
Me too. I'm a junk store, Goodwill, baseball hunting, bobblehead. I love going to antique junk stores and finding baseball stuff.
You know what, my friend? That is the secret right there. If anybody wants to start any kind of collection, any vintage, anything, go to antique stores. Absolutely. And secondhand stores, because they will have so much stuff there.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much stuff that's in this room that I could say, oh, I got that at Goodwill. I got that at this store. Got the, and I've got this really cool Marlins locker that I found at Goodwill.
Really?
And I keep bobbleheads. I use it for storage for bobblehead boxes inside, but then I have 3 Marlins bobbleheads and 2 of the starting lineup figures, kind of a Marlins. I have my stuff displayed by team.
Gotcha.
Like I've got Zephyr New Orleans baby cakes section on the shelf. I have a little Jackson Generals, just by team. And so I've got a whole Marlins. And then my desk is Brewers and Shuckers. Is Milwaukee, because I kind of follow them because of the Shuckers. So,
right.
But yeah, that the thrill of the hunt. I do very little eBay. Most of the stuff on the Ambassador shelf over here was eBay. Just a couple items, I like the reprint cards. I know people would, kind of boo-hoo that. The reprints are from '83. So the reprints are not, it's just really just kind of display and celebrate the history of Danville baseball.
As long as you like it, my friend, that's all that matters.
I would love to have the real one from 1909. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I love that. Don't do that as much as I'd like to, but I love. And then, sometimes you go to the stores and you don't spend a penny. You don't find anything, and
off you go.
Off you go, the way it goes. But
that's awesome. Love it. All right. So are we ready?
I've been doing my homework now. I think you're going to throw me a curveball question I've not heard before.
Oh, it's going to happen.
I've listened to the last 4 podcasts to do my homework.
You see, here's the thing.
You dropped the Friends question in Seinfeld. I was ready for that one.
And that's the thing, though, right? Because a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready. I've been preparing." I'm like, "Okay, I got to step my game up now, and I got to go think of more questions." So me and my wife, we sat down and we looked at, more questions to ask. So here we go.
I had that perfect answer. I was going to vote C, King of Queens.
There you go.
And I said this to my wife the other day. I said, I'm getting ready for this. I said, I'm getting ready. I said, I've been hearing the questions. And I said, I'm really a lot more Doug Heffernan than I'll ever be Chandler, Ross, or Joey. You know what I'm saying? my friends were like Deacon and Spence and the crew that
This is great.
I don't know why that show doesn't get more love. I mean, I know it's syndicated and it's all, you find it all the time, but that was a classic sitcom.
It was funny.
I mean, and by the way, he wore Brooklyn Cyclone. You had minor league baseball. He would wear Brooklyn shirts, on the show. So, and you even had that factor. But yeah, I'm a lot more Doug Heffernan than I'm there.
Love it. All right. So you go to the ballpark.
Okay.
What's your snack of choice when you go to the ballpark?
And I've heard you mention this, but it's my go-to barbecue nachos.
That sounds delicious.
Pork nachos. Memphis has great ones. Biloxi, there's a barbecue place in Biloxi that has that concession, and they're outstanding. Barbecue.
Oh, is it on a helmet?
No, I wish it was in a helmet.
Yeah. Oh.
A runner-up, the Mississippi Braves have fried green tomatoes, a great Southern delicacy.
Fried green tomatoes, huh?
Whole concession stand is nothing but like fried stuff. I think it's sponsored by some hospital probably for heart. Everything at that concession stand is fried because that's where we live. And I'm not it, Ed. But I fried green tomatoes and Pearl at Trustmark Park, and they're really good. That'd be option B after the.
Love it. Love it. All right. What was your nickname growing up?
Oh wow, that's a good. Wow, there's the curveball.
See, hey, right off the bat, we're going. I'm bringing you back to that Father's Day baseball extravagance that you had. Swing and a miss.
Wait a minute. Now, technically, Johnny is a nickname because my legal name is John. My dad is John, so I always went by Johnny. So Johnny, kind of, sort of a nickname. The last nickname that I was given was Big Saucy. I have a t-shirt. There's a chain of hamburger places in Alabama called Milo's. Milo's sells the bottled tea, jug. I don't know if it's in Ohio yet, but Milo's tea. Well, they have Milo's hamburger places. And my wife one year for Father's Day bought me this Milo's burger t-shirt, and it says "Stay Saucy, Birmingham." So stay San Diego. It's a play on that. And so I was wearing that shirt. And my friend Frank started calling me Big Saucy. When I call Frank to this day, he'll go, "Big Saucy." I had a teacher in high school call me Otis from the Andy Griffith Show because I burped in class. He called me Otis. Graduated high school. My wife calls me Babe. We've called each other that for years, But yeah, technically Johnny is a nickname. But I've had several.
Love it. I absolutely love it. All right, rain or snow?
And, here snow shuts everything down, so I gotta go rain. I love looking at snow, and here and growing up in Alabama, if you had a decent snow, the world stopped. Schools are closed.
No, yeah, you guys are not prepared for that.
You're not prepared. It's beautiful to look at, and it's it was like a Hallmark movie here this winter. Taking pictures and all that. But and I don't like rain either. I'm not a big. We're supposed to get 7-8 days of rain here, but I'm not. I'd go rain. Of the two, I go rain.
Got it. Okay, so strangest thing that you've ever eaten?
Oh wow! Well, you bringing the heat. You're like that pitching machine in Pearl. 70 miles an hour. I get the strangest thing I've ever eaten. Gosh. Probably a duck omelet. Duck. When I was in high school, me and two buddies were trekking out a place for the prom, a French restaurant. So you got these three huckleberries, going into this fancy French restaurant called Cafe de France in Birmingham at the Botanical Gardens. So we go in there, and I didn't know what to order. And I thought, well, I've never tried duck. And so I ate a duck omelet at Cafe de France,
Oh
Botanical Gardens. So, and they ended up riding together for the prom, and then that's another podcast. My prom story.
That's part two of this podcast.
The sad tales of Johnny's senior and junior proms coming out, available on Apple Podcasts.
This is great. I love it. Last movie that you watched?
Oh, wow. Okay. Are we talking theater or just at home?
Last movie, it's the last one, whether theater or at home.
Wow. Bro. From start to finish. Oh, wow. Let me think. Because I'm bad about watching bits and pieces.
Yeah. If it's on TV, you got to finish it.
In certain movies, if they're on, the remote gets set down. Tombstone, Tommy Boy. There's certain movies I love, especially because I'm stuck in the 1990s. If you good movie, probably the last one I watched entirely, speaking of the 90s, was The Rock with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
I think I watched that the other day. Now that we've got college football back and baseball, I don't. But I'm like I said, I'm bad about it if I'm flipping channels.
Oh, I'm with you.
And it may be a movie I've seen so many times. My daughter had an interesting question for me the other night about that. If I had to sit through Grease, Sweet Home Alabama, or Pretty Woman, which one would I sit through? I don't know why she came up with this question.
Good question.
And I was like, I thought, you need to write for Ed. But anyways, what my first thought was, his questions with the podcast. Wow, I don't like Grease. By the way, nobody looks like they're in high school in that movie. You ever notice that?
Absolutely. They look like grown adults. Yeah, I'm with you.
And then Pretty Woman, of course, as I told her, I didn't see that movie when it was out because, by the way, I was a teenage boy with no girlfriend. Okay. So I had no reason to go see Pretty Woman. And then my wife and daughter love Sweet Home Alabama. Okay. The accents, it's just so, I voted Sweet Home Alabama. I mean, just by default.
My wife will watch that all day, every day.
Oh, it's not that any of them are bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to hate me. I can't believe that guy hates Grease. No,
there's nothing wrong with that. Like, listen, if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you never, what I mean? There's so many movies out there that I don't like. It's just how it goes.
Yeah. The best part of Grease is the intro song, the theme song.
Yeah.
The song's bumping. Love the song. Grease is the word. Like the song. But the movie, I saw Pepsi's using some kind of ad with a Grease thing.
Yeah.
Retro drinks or something. And I thought, oh gosh, will this thing never die?
No, it won't. It really won't.
It won't. Grease is the word.
All right. Favorite board game?
Oh, got to go Monopoly.
Yeah.
Monopoly.
It's a good one. All right. If you were, what would be your spirit animal?
Man, you are bringing heat. Are you Bob Feller or reincarnated? Mudcat Grant? I mean, bringing Carlos Colon there in the Indians Uni. I mean, Charles Nagy in the prime.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. This is something I've never even thought about.
There you go. See, I'll give you the Otterbots because there you go. That's the
An otter. And there we go. It's on my hat. Yeah, an
boom.
otter.
Love it.
God, our mascot.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Coke. See,
Coke.
I can't. I've tried it. Don't get me wrong. If I go to McDonald's, I'll drink the Coke because I don't know what it is. I have to, their Coke from McDonald's is delicious. I don't know what it is.
Right.
But if it's out of a can or a bottle, I'll go Pepsi all day, every day.
Yeah.
Pancakes or waffles?
Ooh, pancakes. I like both. You tell I like both, but I'll go pancakes. Both are delicious. Both are wonderful.
You're right about that, my friend. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird. I'm really surprised I'm still awake. This has been awesome, but I'm an old man, as I've said. So
I gotta get out of here.
I've been known to fall asleep with, probably Pretty Woman playing on the TV.
Oh, so many times I've done it. Like I'm sitting on the couch, me and my wife watching a movie, also I'm out.
Well, my wife loved it, and I'll look at her and go, "This is your Field of Dreams, isn't it?" Because I love Field of Dreams. Okay.
Great movie.
And Pretty Woman, I think, is her Field of Dreams. Like if it's on or anything related to it, forget about it. She's watching Pretty Woman. Same with Grease. Same with Sweet Home Alabama.
I love it. I love it. All right. So 2 more questions and then I'll let you go. How's that?
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Good answer.
Yeah,
hot dog is a hot dog.
A hot dog.
And last but not least.
Oh boy, here we go.
I know. Here we go. You're getting ready for this.
I'm bracing.
Who was your crush growing up?
Oh, wow. Okay. This is going to show my age. and this, when my wife listens to this podcast, I hope she does. The great Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Saved by the Bell. That was it. My buddies, when we worked at the grocery store as teenagers, would go get those teenage magazines just to look at her pictures. The magazine. I mean, she was in my little group of friends. She was like how you judged every girl. Are they as pretty as Tiffany Amber Thiessen?
This is great.
That was that's a tough question. Maybe this will be edited out of the final. Yeah, I will go Tiffany Thiessen.
Good answer. Good answer.
That from my era, and because I'm like the age they're all that were on that show, maybe a year older, maybe. I just had the biggest crush, and all my friends did too. Like so, all my running buddies that we worked at the grocery store together, we all had a crush on her. Yeah, so that I would say Tiffany Thiessen.
Love it. All right, my friend. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, of course, just by my name on Facebook, and then Johnny, my name on Twitter, Johnny MILB fan is my Twitter handle.
Yep.
And if you want poorly written tweets,
some good fun.
Nothing serious. Now, like I said, Facebook's a little different because it's actually people that you live with.
Yeah, and I'm with you there. Let's stick with the Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's more fun. Twitter, my wife's gotten into this TikTok mess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can do that.
I can't. She tried to show me some of those videos yesterday. And I said, this is mind-numbing nonsense.
Yeah.
Like this is going to deteriorate brain cells after a while. She said, well, you don't have a problem with Twitter. I said, Twitter is banter. Twitter is conversation.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right.
I just, And I made the mistake of saying something about the Savannah bananas. Oh, they're on TikTok. I said, what? Because I had seen there was a
Oh yeah, the Savannah bananas, they're on everything.
yeah, they had several features on them last few weeks. I don't own anything Savannah bananas, which is kind of a shock.
Neither do
Um,
I'm trying to work on that.
yeah, I would. My only college league is, of course, the Otterbots, and you mentioned the other day the Disco Turkeys. I do have one of those dad hats.
Mm-hmm. That's a great hat.
I want a Spartanburg or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love a Spartanburg. I really like that logo. I'm sort of they never did the ambassador thing, but I've claimed to be their unofficial
Yeah,
ambassador.
that's right. I remember that sweet.
And but I don't own any gear, so I guess I'm not a great ambassador.
You should definitely also look at the Northwoods League. That's a good league. There's some good
Uh,
teams. Yeah. I
yeah,
know. I just opened up the gates for more. I know, and I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, you would enjoy it, my friend.
yeah. I've looked. It's been a while at that league, but yeah, I don't know anything making bacon. There's a lot of these popular college teams that I don't own any of their merchandise. Yeah, I don't. I feel less of a human for that, um, but hey, that what makes me Danville's official ambassador for the
There you go,
great
my friend.
of the great state of Mississippi. All 2.9 million of us love our Danville
There
Otterbot.
you go. Love it. Well, my friend, I want to thank you for this. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming on my podcast.
I really enjoyed it. I've been looking forward to this for days. Like I said, I've been studying the questions, and then you threw some curves at me.
I do what I can.
I feel like that was coming, and I really wasn't prepared. Just we'll be down to the minors.
There
Thank
you go. All right, my friend. Well, again, thank you so much.
you. Have a great night. Enjoy
You
getting
too.
to meet you.
Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Seriously. How fun was that interview? I hope you guys laughed as hard as I did because I couldn't help myself. Johnny's hilarious. All right. So you guys make sure you guys are following him on Twitter. Before I go, a couple of things. One, subscribe to the channel. Okay. That way, you're always in the know when something is, happening. Give it thumbs up. So that way, again, we go up and more people are noticing the channel. If you're looking for the audio version only, I have that as well. So that way, when you're traveling or you're going to work, things like that, you can't watch a video. I got the audio. All right. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, all right? It's there. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give it a good ranking. Give it 5 stars so that way, again, go up, okay? Until then, keep on grinding and always support the minor leagues. See ya.